Alright, it's Q&A time again. Actually, it's May 31st right now, but I'll be posting this later on. A lot of questions. I'm going to start off with a question that I've gotten at least like 10 times just in this batch of questions. It's about the whole Blink-182 situation right now with how they're not doing any studio work and how there was rumors of hiatus again and shit like that. Basically, Tom's got his shit that he's doing right now with Angels and Airwaves. Mark's got his thing he's doing with whatever the hell that guy's name was. I think his name was Chris or something. I don't remember. And Travis is always doing his live shows and shit. So, I mean, I don't feel like there's any reason for them to go on hiatus, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, it would be great if they were doing something, but, you know, you can't really expect Tom or any one of them to just put the things that they already said they were going to do on hold. I mean, I know they said they were hoping to get back into the studio like months ago, but, you know, shit happens, and, you know, hopefully the new Angels and Airwaves album is good. Hopefully once they're done tracking the whole thing and the majority of it's done, then hopefully the Blink album can go underway, or at least another EP or something, you know. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much how I think of it. I mean, yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, I already had one question from that. Someone said, do you have any hope that Blink will release another type of pop-punk album? No, I really don't see it happening. It's such a far step backwards that, I don't know. I feel like they've completely outgrown that section of their life. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Charlotte says, would you rather have an elephant-sized dog or a dog-sized elephant? A dog-sized elephant would be pretty cool, just to have as a pet. Could use it to like squirt water on like the dog or something, maybe get him clean. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I don't know what I would do with an elephant-sized dog. Milan says, my two favorite bands of all time are Blink and NFG, but aside from a few records, I'm not really into this newer wave of pop punk, like Wonder Years, etc. I was wondering if you think it has something to do with being in our 20s, or if it's really just not that good. And do you think the pop punk fad will die down? I definitely think it's more geared towards like teens for sure. I mean, there's plenty of people that like pop punk that are older, but I mean, I definitely think the majority of it is younger kids, because I mean, the lyrics especially just really aren't very mature. They're not, they don't talk about much other than girls in high school and pizza or whatever else. So I think that's a big reason why a lot of like 20-year-olds and up don't really get into it. I mean, I personally haven't really seen many bands out there that do have like different types of lyrics for that genre anyway. So I mean, I don't necessarily think it'll be something that like a fad that'll die down or anything. But I don't know. I definitely agree. There's a lot of bands like that in the genre right now that everyone's always like, oh, John, you got to check this out. You got to listen to these guys. And, you know, I just don't really see the appeal personally. But I don't know. Maybe we're getting old. Colby, do you listen to any Nirvana or any other grunge bands? I hate Nirvana with a passion. For other grunge bands, I'd say probably like the closest thing you could really say is maybe like Rage Against the Machine, but I wouldn't really call them grunge. Definitely in like that time period anyway, but I don't know. I don't really lump them in the same category really. Adam says, "Are you excited for the new Foo Fighters album?" Yeah, as long as it's good. I mean, I'll be happy. I really liked the last album, Wasting Light, a lot. So, if it's even remotely as good as that one, or at least almost as good as that one, I'll be happy because that album was really good. Danny says, "Do you have any neck deep covers planned?" Nothing planned. I do listen to them every now and then. I don't really have much for covers planned in general. I mean, sometimes I'll just listen to something on my iPod, like in the car, and I'll be like, oh, I want to cover that. But for the most part, I mean, I don't have anything that I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be doing this one and then that one. But, you know, it's definitely possible. They do have some cool guitars. Jordan asks, why don't you like Linkin Park? Linkin Park is one of those radio bands that just fucking sounds the same in like every one of their goddamn songs. That first album, Hybrid Theory, wasn't bad. I used to listen to it all the time when I was in like 5th grade or whenever the hell that was. Maybe even 4th grade. And, you know, some of those songs still aren't bad, but look up or Google this. It's all Linkin Park songs look the same. And read the article because they have a very, very good point. Because every fucking Linkin Park song, the structure is exactly the same. It sounds almost exactly the same. And it has it all listed right here. It's pretty ridiculous. I think it's at hometracked.com. But I looked it up before because I remembered the website. But yeah. They're really not trying to do anything different these days. I mean, I haven't really listened much to like any of their later stuff, but you know, it's just freaking boring. It's just radio music. I mean, stuff that really just doesn't do it for me. Another question about Census Fail. I don't know why I keep getting so many Census Fail questions. Dylan wants to know what my thoughts on Census Fail are. Another one of those bands I used to listen to. I stopped just because I really just outgrew them. One thing I never really liked about their music is just the way that it was produced or mastered or whatever. It just never sounded good. I mean, the songs themselves were fine, but the guitars just always sounded weird, and just the way that they were mixed, or I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe some of you will understand, but I just feel like the songs themselves could sound better. And I don't know. I mean, the last album of theirs I really listened to was Still Searching, I think, and that was a decent album. I think I listened a little bit to one after that, but overall, I mean, I kind of lost interest. Jed says, do you know what pickup Chad Gilbert uses? I actually don't. I mean, I know he uses Les Paul Customs for the most part. I never really noticed if he changed them out. I'm sure he did. Let me see. Of course, I type in Chad Gilbert and all I get is Hayley Williams pictures. I mean, maybe he's using stock pickups, because I'm looking at something when he was using his LTD guitars, which he does live sometimes, and he just has the stock EMGs in there. Or I assume they're stock EMGs. I mean, they might be like different EMGs. They're probably 81s, which is what Steve used. So he might use the stock pickups in his Les Pauls. It's hard to find a picture of it, to be honest. I mean, they are gold covered. I mean, they're not bad pickups for the style of music. I mean, they could be better, because the pickups in Les Paul customs really aren't that great. So I mean, he might have changed it to maybe like another Gibson pickup, like a Burst Bucker or something like that. I don't know. Let's see. Aaron wants to know if I like Masked Intruder. I'm assuming it's a band. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Nico says, what's my favorite Blink song of all time and why? Not Now, just because it's the best. It's the best. I don't know. I just always thought it was great ever since I heard it. Being demoed and stuff in like the old recording studio videos before the self-titled album came out. I just always wanted to hear that song finished, and when I did, I mean, I thought it was awesome. So, let's see, James, which Blink album is your favorite? Self-titled. And which is the hardest to play on guitar? Probably Cheshire Cat. I mean, I don't really know like Fly Swatter and like other like random EPs and stuff, but Cheshire Cat's pretty difficult. It's all over the place a lot. I mean, it's not like Enema of the State where, you know, each song is pretty simple. I mean, Tom's doing a lot of different stuff in a lot of the Cheshire Cat songs, so and I'd say it's a little bit harder than Dude Ranch. Dude Ranch isn't as hard as that one. So Harry says, if you had $5,000 to spend on gear, is there anything particular you'd want to buy? I've got plenty of things I'd love to buy. I would love a Mayonnaise guitar. Mayonnaise are wicked expensive, but they're so nice. Especially the Regius or Regis, which brand new are like $4,000, but they're fucking sweet. I love them. So yeah, that would pretty much kill almost $5,000 pretty quickly. That would be cool. Maybe get like a custom color or something and get like exactly the right pickups I want, and I don't know. That's probably what I would do, a Mayonnaise Regis 6-string. So, who would win in a fight, Blink or Green Day? Probably Green Day because they're nuts. That's what I would say. Hey dude, just wondering, where do you work? You seem to have cash for guitars. I don't really get a lot of money per hour where I work. I just don't have a lot of bills. I just paid off my car. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't have a lot of bills, like I said. I have, like, my car insurance bill. I have, like, room and board. I have my phone bill. But other than that, I mean, most of you would probably notice that I don't usually just buy a guitar outright. I'll like sell something or trade something to get something else. I mean, it's not like I'm raking in the cash from my job, that's for sure. And number 2 is, what are my thoughts on My Shame Is True, the latest Alkaline Trio album? I'd probably say I think it's like the best album that they've come out with since Crimson. Agony and Irony was okay. This Addiction was okay, but My Shame Is True is really good. I like that album a lot. What's your favorite guitar pedal? I mean, I don't really use pedals very much, but I do like my Visual Sound H2O, which is chorus and echo. I use it every now and then, but otherwise I really don't use many. Another question from Reese. Who do you prefer in GTA 5? I like using Michael, personally. But Trevor's, like, area, like, up in the boonies is really fun, because I just like taking the ATVs and just driving over, like, all the sand dunes. That's always really fun. Killian says, what's your opinion on Jags? Fender Jags. I assume you mean Jaguars, not like Jag Stangs or anything like that. Jaguars are cool. They're very, very similar to Jazzmasters. Usually they have a stop tail instead of like something like this. Um, but they have a shorter scale. And so what makes it different from a Jazzmaster is like the cut of the neck. Like this would come down closer. And it's just a shorter neck in general. I mean, they're nice guitars for the ones that I've played. But I don't know. Like, the short scale is cool, but I feel like I do downtune stuff at least a little bit. So I mean, I feel like it would kind of limit me because when you have a shorter scale like that, this is a 25.5 inch scale, and the Jaguar that I've played, or all the ones that I know of, are 24-inch scales. So, so if you downtune too much, it'll sound kind of floppy, and then you'd have to like go up in string gauges to make it sound a little bit better. But overall, I mean, I think they're pretty nice. I like the body shape, which is, like I said, almost exactly the same as this body shape. I do have a Squier Jaguar bass over there. It's a short scale, and that's really fun. I do like that bass. Another person asked me about the front bottoms. I've never listened to them. I know my friend loves them, but other than hearing them a little bit when I was vacationing in San Diego last year, I don't remember how they sound or anything. So I didn't really remember them sounding all that great. Landon says, what was the project guitar you're planning? I've always got certain things I'm planning. I was planning on making a Jazzmaster like Tom DeLonge did, the white one with the black pickguard. I might still do it. I mean, it really depends on money and stuff right now. So I don't know. So we'll see. But I mean, I always have at least like 3 ideas that I'd like to work on. So Devin says, what recording equipment do you use when recording guitars? Do you have an audio interface? I just started using the Scarlett 2i2 from Focusrite. I mean, if you're listening to this right now, then it's just the audio from the camera. And I only started using this thing very, very recently. So, other than that, like, I'll use a Sennheiser E906 microphone, which I also just got. So, I mean, I've used it in a couple videos so far, but lately it's just been hey kitty, it's just been me using the camera mic, which kind of sucks. So a few questions from Jordan. Have I ever played a mandolin? No. When Blink was mainstream, did it get old? No. What's my favorite Mountain Dew flavor? I like Typhoon a lot, but they got rid of it, and I'm just hoping they bring it back. I know they had it at Taco Bell or something recently. I got it a couple times because they had it as like a slushy type thing you could get. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. But yeah, I like that flavor. Other than that, I probably prefer just the regular Mountain Dew. Do I like to fish? Last time I fished was like 15 years ago, if not longer. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if I was gonna go do something with that with like friends or whatever, I'd probably just go to just hang out. I wouldn't actually fish. I'd probably just relax and enjoy the water. I don't know. Jake says, what are my thoughts on Rise Against? They're okay. I mean, I don't think they're bad at all, but I don't know. They're not really for me. The songs that I've heard are pretty good, but I don't know. I never really liked them enough to really listen to them very much. Another question from Jake. What's my favorite offset body guitars? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Let me see. Cat just opened the door. Sorry. trying to figure out exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought with like Jaguars and Jazzmaster and stuff. I mean, I like my Jazzmaster. I mean, it's cool. I got some work to do on it, but oh, okay. It means upper and lower halves of the body are offset from each other. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun guitar. I mean, I do like it. I do like the body type. What James wants to know what my favorite guitar riff or solo of all time are. Fuck if I know. Bib, what are you doing? My cat's rolling around on the ground now. God, I don't know if I have like exact favorites. I mean, I know I like a lot of different ones. I really like a lot of Paul Gilbert stuff, like I'm Not Afraid of the Police and Suicide Lover. I really like a lot of I Am Abomination for guitar riffs, like One False Step and some other ones. So I mean, those ones are all good. Tyler wants to know if I can do more Dude Ranch lessons. Maybe eventually. I don't really feel like it at the moment. Let's see. A few questions from Tim. What's your favorite tuning? I do like being half step down, which is what I am right now. But I also like being in drop too. So, I don't know, either of those probably. What's my favorite band in a somewhat constant drop tuning? I don't know, there's plenty. I like 4 Year Strong, which is usually in D standard. I like Seosin, that's usually in D standard. I don't know, there's a bunch more. It's my favorite video game, Chrono Trigger. My favorite riff to play by Bayside. I don't know, I don't even remember half of them off the top of my head. I like Already Gone, that one's really cool. How was my day? Well, it's only 12 o'clock in the morning, so I mean, it's pretty good so far. Let's see, Robert. Have I ever played a JCM 900? If so, any thoughts? I've never played one. I know a guy that does have one, but as soon as he got a JCM 800, I know he just like sold his 900 because he said it was way better. But I've never played one. Sam says, would you buy an iPhone just to buy one of Tom DeLonge's guitars? No, that's stupid. I'm not gonna spend $500 on an iPhone just to maybe spend a few $1,000s on one of Tom DeLonge's guitars. Fuck that. Alan wants to know what my thoughts on Billy Talent and their guitarist. I've never listened to Billy Talent, ever. Jack asks, what bands would you like to collab together? I don't usually like when bands collaborate together, personally. I mean, I don't know. At least for like studio work. I mean, live is different. I mean, any sort of like mixture would be cool. I mean, like 4 Year Strong and Blink or Newfound Glory or whatever. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, studio wise, I wouldn't really get into it, I don't think. Sebastian says, who are your idols for guitar? Definitely Paul Gilbert. Definitely Nick Sampson of I Am Abomination. Who else? Those are definitely the main ones for sure. Oh God, I know I have another one that's just right on the tip of my tongue. The guitarist of Steel Panther is really fucking good. His name is well, his stage name is Satchel, but his real name is Russ. Parrish, I think. He's very, very good. Jet wants to know if I can do a cover of Pinball Wizard. I don't really listen to The Who very much, personally, so I mean, maybe, but I don't know. It's unlikely. Do I like down-tuned guitars? This is from Ricardo. Yeah, I kind of answered that already. Danny wants to know what my favorite kind of potato chips are. I like kettle-cooked chips, like really crispy ones. Usually, I mean, I like sour cream and onion, barbecue flavors. I don't like salt and vinegar. That's always just nasty. Jalapeno flavored ones are always good too, or sweet potato chips are really good. Fem wants to know how my new interface is going, and is there any hope for a review? There's so many reviews of it on YouTube already from people that know it a lot better than I do. So I don't plan on doing a review of it, but so far, I mean, it's going pretty good. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and it sounded better than the Line 6 thing I was using before. So for 150 bucks, I mean, I definitely recommend it, but I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about it. But yeah, it is cool. It's like I said, it's pretty easy to use, so I'm happy about that. I don't like when shit is just overcomplicated. Let's see. Ricardo says, "Are you aware about Tom DeLonge selling guitars on a reissued app?" Obviously. Sorry, but yeah, I do know. Justin says, "Do I like hats?" I'll wear a beanie or something if it's cold outside, but other than that, I don't wear hats. And that's usually only in like the winter too. Like baseball caps and stuff like that I never liked. Let me see. Do I like Music Man guitars? Unfortunately, I've never played one. I hear they're great, but I've never played one. What's your favorite song that I always listen to? There's hundreds. I couldn't pick just one. And what's the next purchase for guitars that I'm planning to make? I mean, I just bought like a few things to fix this up. I bought a new bridge. I bought some new knobs. What else did I buy? Some new pots. And I need to get some work done on it in general to make it a lot better. Because I'm not super familiar with Jazz Masters, so I'm going to let my guitar tech do it. So that's probably what my next purchase is going to be. What kind of guitar picks do I use? I use Dunlop Tortex. Sometimes I use yellow ones. Sometimes I usually use the green ones. The green ones are the next size up in thickness. But every now and then I'll fuck around with a yellow one. Maybe an orange one, but probably not. Michael says, "Do you have any plans for purchasing an acoustic guitar in the future?" I have an acoustic guitar. It's right over there. I don't know if you can see it from that angle. Yeah, it's that red one. It's pretty nice. For such a cheap guitar, it actually sounds really great, and it plays really nice too. So, and it's an Ibanez, if you're curious. Reese says, "What are you planning for your Jazz Master?" I mean, I kind of already said it a little bit. Originally, I was going to make it just one humbucker and just one volume knob, and that's all it was going to be. But it's so hard to find a place that'll make a custom pick guard for that. I mean, I wanted to go through Warmouth, which is where I do like most of my custom pick guards, but their Jazzmaster pick guards aren't like standard Jazzmaster pick guards, so they like there's a big disclaimer on it saying that that it's not going to fit my Jazzmaster, so it's only going to fit theirs, which is kind of lame. There's some other ones, some other websites where I could do it, but I mean, it's wicked expensive. It was like 60 bucks or something, so I'm just going to be taking the Stockholm P90 pickup from Bare Knuckle out of my black Strat, putting it in here. I'll probably just take this pickup and just, I don't know, I'll probably keep it like in a drawer or something until I find a guitar that needs a pickup, no matter how bad it is, I guess. I mean, it's not a bad pickup. But I mean, it's not amazing. And other than that, I mean, just switching out like the pots to like better pots. And I got to change the nut on it. The nut's kind of crappy. But other than that, that's pretty much it. How often do I get wrist pain, and how long does it last? That's not the cord. That's the cord. I've had wrist pain on and off for years now. I mean, it comes and goes. Usually it's only for like half a day. Oh. I mean, it could be either wrist too. I mean, usually it doesn't last more than like a day at a time, but one day it could be this one day it could be that one. So, Ricardo says, do I like Telecasters? I can tell this Ricardo guy's new because he's asking a lot of questions that most people already know by now. I have a Telecaster. It's right over there. It's nice. It's really fucking heavy, but it's nice. Okay, that's a stupid question. Sorry. Jim says, Pulp Fiction or Django Unchained? I haven't actually seen either of them. Sorry. There's a lot of movies out there that I just haven't seen that I know I probably should have. God, I got a lot of questions left. Chris says, what does your regular practice session look like? Well, it's in my drummer's basement. It's in like a really small wood-paneled room, even on the ceiling. Lately, we've just been working on like this one new song, so we'll just like go through it as much as we have for the song, and then we'll just kind of keep building it up. Sometimes we'll run through like the 5 or 6 songs that we already have, maybe like once or twice, but we're trying to just keep moving along for now. Tony says, do I have a bucket list? Well, actually, he says buckle list, but I'm assuming he means bucket list. Not really. I mean, I know a lot of people do, but I don't. He said, would I ever go skydiving? Fuck that. No way. Ben wants to know how long I've been playing guitar. Like 11 and a half years or so. Yeah, about 11 and a half. Let me close my door real quick. Let's see. Another Blink-related question that I already kind of answered. I don't understand that question. Zach says, are you going to Warped Tour? Probably not. I mean, if my friends were all going and they wanted me to go, maybe. But overall, I mean, I just don't like enough of the bands to really ever go. What do I think of Washburn guitars? I've never played one. I don't usually think they seem all that great, but I don't know. I'd have to play one to really know. What's my favorite guitar finish? It depends on the guitar 100%. I mean, if I had to pick one overall, just like a natural finish would be really cool, which is funny because I know I don't have any natural finish guitars, but I'd always love one. So, Lance says, do I listen to any artists that have non-English lyrics? Every now and then, but it's unlikely. I used to listen to Mars Volta a little bit when they have like a lot of, I think it's Spanish in that. Some metal bands that I listen to that are like Swedish have like a song every now and then that's not English. But overall, I'd usually just stick to English or just instrumental. Let's see. Owen says, what headphones mic do I use? Jesus. My headphones are Skull Candy Aviators. They're really nice. The only thing I don't really like about them is they're not noise canceling, but at the same time it's not that bad because I can, like, if I'm listening to the song and I'm like playing a cover, I can still hear my guitar playing. So it's good and it's bad. And for mic, I'm pretty sure you mean just like the microphone I used to mic my amp, which is just a Sennheiser E906, which is pretty nice. He says, why you know whammy bar? Because most guitars go out of tune when you use a whammy bar, and it's annoying. Plus, I don't know, it's just not very fun for me. Like this guitar, I pretty much screwed the whole thing down, so I can't use the whammy bar anyway. To keep it a little more stable, I like guitars that just are more stable and just stay in tune better. A couple questions left from Sam. He says, are you into politics at all? No, I could care less. Unless it affects me personally, I just don't care. He says, have you a girlfriend? And if not, would you want a girl into bands such as Blink? Or would it really matter to you what her musical tastes are? I do have a special lady friend. She's not really into the same music as me. A little bit. I mean, it overlaps a little. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me what she listens to. I mean, I'm glad she doesn't like rap or anything like that, but I do like how much she enjoys music. She likes music a lot. The last question, it was just another one of those Blink-related ones that I kind of already answered, but he says, what is that reissued app that Tom has out? If you don't know, it's an app that is actually run by his wife, Jen. It's supposed to be an app where people list things that like otherwise would be like out of print or just super rare or anything like that. And I know Tom was just saying he was going to post stuff on there just to get people to download his wife's app. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I don't know if he's ever actually going to post any guitars. I really thought he was going to actually post his guitars, but it looks like he's just like taking some that are like his models and then just like customizing them and spray painting them or something. I don't know, but personally I don't think anyone cares much about that, and they'd rather actually have like a guitar he used like in front of tens of thousands of people or something. I think that's what people would rather pay money for, so I don't know. So that's it for the questions. There was a lot. I mean, I'm sorry if I skipped some. Some of them were kind of weird. Some of them were kind of like the same ones over and over again, but that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll be doing another one of these in a month or so. So if you got any more questions, I mean, I can answer questions below in the comments, but if you want to be in the next video, I always I post a status on my Facebook page a couple days before the end of the month, so people can ask me questions and stuff. I think I had like 60 something this time, so definitely a good batch. So anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.